just sharing some wonderful information regarding the Red Cross, what we do, and ways in which you can assist us. I do want to give us some housekeeping notes first and foremost. Your line should be muted. However, if you see the little microphone that's there and there's not a line across it, go ahead and tap on that microphone and that will mute your line. That's very important so that everyone can hear the information that we are going to share, and they can get the most out of this presentation. So once again, there's a little bar at the bottom, should be at the bottom, and maybe at the top of your screen. If you could just click on that microphone, there should be a line through it that will mute your line, and that way everyone can hear everything we have to say. Because as you know, in this new virtual world, everything picks up on a presentation, from the dogs to the mailman to whatever's going on outside. So we just want to make sure that everyone's able to hear and hear clearly. The other thing is, if you are new to Microsoft Teams, one of the features that it has is you have the opportunity to actually share information or ask questions or interact and engage in a chat bar or a chat section of the screen. This will not take you away from the presentation slides. So if you look at that little bar, once again, that's at the bottom or the top of your screen, you should see a little icon that looks like a notepad. If you click on that, that will take you to the chat room. So go ahead and click on it and just let us know where you're joining us from. That would be awesome, so that we can know exactly where everybody's coming in, and you can actually get to see how to use that feature on Microsoft Teams. I do want to welcome everyone once again. My name is Monica Wilds. I am a senior recruitment specialist here with the American Red Cross in Southeastern PA. More specifically, Philadelphia County is the area that I oversee. And my colleagues and I are coming to join you and share information about how you can volunteer with us, working with volunteers. This is an information session all about learning how to help the Red Cross and help volunteers that join our team in our volunteer services department or with our volunteer services department. There's many opportunities. You're going to hear from not only my colleagues, but some wonderful volunteers that are actively participating and serving and giving of their time to assist us in this area. And I'm hoping that, you know, once we are all said and done and provide you with the information, you too will make a decision to join us, whether it's in this capacity or in another position that we may have to offer. One of the great things is that even in the current environment we find ourselves in, the American Red Cross still have opportunities to engage volunteers so that you guys can assist us with our mission in helping our community and the individuals that we serve. So without further ado, let's get started. The whole purpose of our meeting, there's a few things that I want to share with you regarding what you're going to take away from this presentation. First and foremost, we're going to review American Red Cross mission and fundamental values, which is very important. It's the center of everything that we do. All right. The second thing is we need you to understand the role of volunteer services, recruitment, engagements, retention, recognition. We assist across multiple lines of service in these areas. And when we're seeking volunteers to assist us with that, that's the areas that you're going to actually participate in. We're going to share with you some of the opportunities that we have with volunteer services. So that includes a volunteer recruiter or a community outreach team member, volunteer screeners, background check team, volunteer engagement, recognition, and appreciation. One thing about the American Red Cross is we have a full onboarding process here. And so all of these components play a major role in not just your onboarding, but also your experience here at the Red Cross. And we need volunteers to assist us in that area. We definitely cannot do it alone. You will be introduced to key volunteers and staff. We are all here and available to support you in your decision, as well as assisting you in becoming a volunteer with us and showing you the steps on how you can actually get started with the Red Cross in your volunteer experience. So these are some of the things that you're going to take away. Please, by all means, the information that we're going to share with you today, don't keep it to yourself. Share with someone else. You never know who you know that would be interested in volunteering as well and or with you. So here's a list of presenters that you're going to hear from today. As stated, my name is Monica Wilds. You're also going to hear from my colleagues in volunteer services. We have Ned Bloom, Ann Borisowski, Grace Palmer, and Lynn Cohen. We're all volunteer services specialists, senior and volunteer service specialists that assist everyone in Eastern PA, and will share what specific areas each one of us serve so that you know exactly whom to reach out to. In addition to the volunteer services staff, we're also going to have our volunteers, a few of our volunteers. So we have Kay Rossi, who is our community outreach team member. We have Beth Urcanon, who is a part of our volunteer engagement team. And we have Ann Arnold, who is a part of our recognition and appreciation team. So by all means, when you hear from all the speakers that are lined up, please be sure, if you have any questions at all, to write them in that chat box. And at the end, we are going to be able to answer your questions, as well as you'll be able to ask them yourself at the end of this presentation. And I believe our supervisor is actually going to be assisting in that chat box, Miss Susan Kalkaus-Bean. So please be sure to share that information. If you're just joining us, it's very important that you check that microphone symbol that's on your page, and just make sure that there's a line going across it so that we do not get any background noise, so everyone can hear. All right. Mission of the Red Cross, very important. It's central to everything that we do. The American Red Cross prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. All right, that's everything that we do revolves around that. Some of our fundamental principles include humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, volunteer service, unity, and universality. It's very important to know that we are 90% volunteer workforce here at the Red Cross. So most everything that happens here is due in large part to volunteer service. And we are so grateful, we are so thankful, and we are so appreciative that individuals are able and willing to not only share their time, but their talents, their skill sets with us to help fulfill this mission. It's priceless. And I can tell you that I, myself, as well as my colleagues, appreciate it so very much, because once again, we could not do this work without volunteers. So I'm going to pass this along to my colleague, who's going to talk to you all about volunteer services, as well as our different lines of services. And so Ned Bloom, please take it away.
Well, thank you, Monica, and good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. As Monica said, my name is Ned Bloom, and I do work in our volunteer services department. And it was very important what Monica was talking about, being that everything the Red Cross has done by volunteers. 90% of our workforce is volunteers. We can't do it without volunteers. We wouldn't want to do it without volunteers. Of course, if you have a lot of volunteers, you need a volunteer services department. And that's the department where we're talking about a lot today, the volunteer services department. We're the people who help recruit, encourage, inspire, engage, and recognize our volunteers. And we do this across all of our lines of service. More than any other department in the American Red Cross, the Volunteer Services Department interacts with all these departments. Some people know us for our disaster response. Some people know the Red Cross for our biomedical and blood services department. Some of you may know us for our Service in the Armed Forces Department. Again, in our Volunteer Services Department, we recruit, retain, engage, and work with the volunteers across all of them. We're sort of the experts. We're the umbrellas. We have to get to know all of the positions that are available. For instance, in disaster services, we have to know there's positions available to help people prepare, respond, and recover after a disaster. In blood services, one of the most important positions that we're currently looking for is what we call blood donor screeners. These are actually people who help take temperatures of donors as they come into a blood drive. So these are some of the positions that we know about, we educate, we encourage, and we invite people to join us. Some of the other departments we work with include Service in the Armed Forces, as well as our operations. Imagine a multi-million-dollar company where everything is done by volunteers, and that's where we interact with them. We're the experts, so we get to know everybody. So what are the touch points? How does a person become a volunteer? Monica, we could advance that slide. Thank you. So the road to volunteering, and this is where the Volunteer Services Department, our volunteers, also get in touch with volunteers, talk to prospective volunteers. It starts with an interest. Maybe that's the reason you joined us on this presentation today, because you're interested in joining the volunteers. So you might talk to a volunteer recruiter. You might talk to a community outreach team member. And we're going to talk about these positions a little further. You're going to fill out an application. It's an online application. We get to know you a little bit. You get to know us a little bit. And we kind of like take care of all the particulars and all the protocols. At the end of that process, you'll talk to a screener who will help confirm your interests. It's important that we match your interests, your availability, your skills to the right position. Here in Pennsylvania, there's an additional position known as a background team check coordinator. Pennsylvania has some of the strictest background checks in the entire nation, so we help guide our prospective volunteers through those protocols and through those various websites. Then we're going to refer to that prospective volunteer onto a line of service. That person might be interested in disaster services, or they might be interested in biomedical services, or they might be interested in service of the armed forces. And that volunteer, and those volunteers will then take that volunteer and train and engage with them going forward. But in volunteer services, we're not done with them, not by a long stretch. We'll continue to engage with them. We'll continue to encourage them, keep them up to date on not just what's happening in their department, but other departments. We have an expression we say we're one Red Cross. And then that crosses all of our lines of service. As they go along, we might do some recognition and appreciation. Not all the volunteers come in for the reward process, but we do like to recognize and we do like to thank our volunteers very much. So these are sort of the 6 touch points, if you will, that volunteer services involves with volunteers, from the beginning through the process and as they continue on. We're going to get a little more depth about some of these as we talk now. So I'm going to introduce my colleague, my friend, Ann Borisowski, and she's going to talk about the volunteer recruiter position and the community outreach team position. Ann, take it away.
Thanks, Ned. As Ned mentioned, my name is Ann Borisowski. I am a volunteer recruitment specialist for the PA Rivers chapter. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more today about our volunteer opportunities where you can help us locate new volunteers. These 2 positions are a community outreach team member and a volunteer recruiter. Both of these positions help us to connect with and recruit new volunteers. They're both really flexible and can work around your schedule. I actually have a community team member who is a snowbird and goes back and forth between Florida and Pennsylvania, and she loves this position because it just works with her schedule. Our community outreach team members and recruiters both help to bring new volunteers into the organization. Community outreach team members frequently attend tabling events to represent the American Red Cross. They attend events such as health fairs, senior expos, and other events throughout the community. They attend these events and share information about the American Red Cross and our volunteer opportunities with members of the community and potential volunteers. They also get to network with other vendors that attend these events, and let me tell you, there are a lot of fun vendors that attend these events. They're great opportunities if you enjoy being social and like getting out and talking to people. Our recruitment volunteers help us to recruit for all of our lines of service that Ned just talked to you about through a variety of different ways. They can do something like online posting, which you can do remotely from home, physical postings when that's available, when we're not in the middle of coronavirus. Our recruiters also help us to represent the American Red Cross by giving presentations to organizations and throughout the community. Recruitment team members often connect with and follow up with potential volunteers. I have a few who do this through Volunteer Match, sending emails and corresponding then with our potential volunteers. Recruitment team members can also help us find places to recruit by doing prospect research and helping us with targeted recruitment. As I mentioned, both of these opportunities are great for being social, but they're also great resume builders if you're looking to do that. In addition to helping the Red Cross, you can gain hands-on nonprofit experience and develop customer service and public speaking skills. And of course, every position that we offer comes with its own onboarding and training. Now I'm going to pass it over to one of our amazing community outreach team volunteers to talk to you a little bit more about what she does. Here's Kay Rossi.
Hi, I'm Kay Rossi. I'm a member of the community outreach team. We go to the senior expos and the health fairs. We provide information to everyone about all of the Red Cross services and the opportunities that you would have as a Red Cross volunteer. It's a great way to meet other people, to meet the other vendors, to share your experiences. For me, I've been a volunteer for 10 years, mostly in disaster services, and just to talk about that with other people is a fun way just to get to meet them. It's for me, it's been very rewarding being a volunteer. It's been a great experience, a wonderful way to help people, and I hope you join us. Back to Ann.
Thanks, Kay. Now we're going to turn it over to Grace Palmer to talk to you about how you can help volunteers while they're going through the process.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. My name is Grace Palmer. I'm one of the Volunteer Services Department. I will be talking to you today about the volunteer screener and background check team member positions that are available. Keep in mind that both of them can be done from home. They're a great way to stay connected. If you love talking to people, getting to know people a little bit better, or maybe you're just looking for experience like Ann has stated, maybe in HR or interview skills. This is a great way to get your hands wet, even from home during COVID-19. So the first one is a volunteer screener. So basically, when someone submits an application to become a volunteer, the screener then reaches out to them to get to know them a little bit better, explain kind of what our process is, and also have like a more one-on-one conversation with them to try to get to know what their interests are and help them to get over to the correct department. Maybe that's something that they're passionate about, such as service to the armed forces or disaster. The other thing is background check team. So you're basically helping someone, hand-holding them, helping them through the process of completing the background checks. As Ned had stated before, Pennsylvania has one of the most biggest requirements for background checks. And we have certain positions that require a little bit more as far as getting those background checks completed. But we are here to help them. So as a background check team member, like I said, you're going to be helping them get through that process, maybe explaining to them where to go online, phone calls, whatever, just being there to help them in another way. So like I said, it's the screener and background check team members. It's a great way to get connected even while home, having a flexible schedule. If you're trying to connect with more people, you want to have that more personable conversation with somebody before they even walk through the doors through a department. I'm going to go ahead and send this off to Lynn Cohen, one of my colleagues, and she's going to talk to you about engagement and recognition.
Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for attending. I am going to talk a little bit about volunteer engagement and what it is. So I'm currently transitioning from an engagement role into a recruitment role, and I've loved being in the engagement role. It's a lot of fun. Engagement is really just about the strategy and practices that build the capacity of the Red Cross through employee and volunteer partnership to carry out the Red Cross mission. More simply, if you can think of it like this, engagement in a formula equals relationship plus action. And that equation shows that to truly engage volunteers in the work of the Red Cross, they must have the opportunity to act as well as build a positive relationship with our organization, the mission, fellow team members, supervisors, and the communities we serve. Our vision for volunteer engagement of the American Red Cross is that through our strong network of fabulous volunteers, donors, and partners, our organization is always there in times of need. And that's especially so right now during the times of coronavirus. So what we do is we aspire to turn compassion into action so that all people affected by disaster across the country and around the world receive care, shelter, and hope. And our communities are ready and prepared for disasters, that everyone in our country has access to safe, life-saving blood and blood products, that all members of our armed forces and their families find support and comfort wherever needed, and in an emergency, there are always trained individuals nearby and ready to use their Red Cross skills to save lives. The shared vision for Red Cross volunteer engagement is that we leverage a very diverse volunteer workforce, inspired and empowered to deliver the Red Cross mission. So with that said, I'm happy to introduce you to one of our wonderful volunteers. She's our Volunteer Services Engagement Lead, Beth Cannon. Beth has been with the Red Cross for about 1.5 years now and serves in more roles than just this one that she'll share today. But without further ado, I give you Beth Cannon.
Thanks, Lynn. Hello, everyone. My name is Beth Cannon, and following my early retirement, I was anxious to keep working and at the same time assist others in my community. The Red Cross was a great fit for me due to their flexibility and many lines of service that interested me. As you've heard, volunteers are the center and are critical to the success of the Red Cross mission. And we want to assure that our volunteers are happy, satisfied, and engaged with each other. Our volunteer engagement team works with all lines of service and produces a monthly interactive newsletter. We guide volunteers through the onboarding and training process. We engage volunteers through group meetings and sharing of best practices, and we even help in hosting virtual happy hours. It's a great and rewarding way to engage everyone and further our assistance in the community. So I hope you'll join us. Back to you, Lynn.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Beth. Yes, Beth is doing an awesome job. She does our monthly newsletter and really helps people get on board and get engaged with the organization, which is what we love. Appreciation and recognition is also a very important role to us because, like Ned and Monica have shared, that 90% of our workforce is volunteers. And so in this fun role of volunteer recognition and appreciation, we want volunteers to help lead the effort, working with staff to celebrate our volunteers and the great work they do through events and creative engagement. It's important to have a dedicated attention on volunteer recognition so that is a priority in our organization. And having a volunteer leader focused on recognition and appreciation of volunteers builds the capacity of the departments to implement a robust recognition plan that includes formal and informal recognition. So we have a team, and one of the positions we're looking for right now is a volunteer appreciation and recognition lead. We do appreciation is pretty informal. It can be a simple verbal thank you, email, note, or letter. Appreciation is really part of our culture here at the Red Cross. We try to shower it daily and on a continual ongoing basis. We try to do activities during National Volunteer Week in April. Our activities this year were all virtual. We did a scavenger hunt. We did some trivia. We did a number of contests. So we try to make it fun and engaging. We also do annual recognition, and our formal recognition is what we call the Celebration of Volunteer event. We have one coming up this fall. We have started the planning process, or we'll be starting it next week. So if you're interested in being on the planning committee or interested in help leading that initiative, I would love to hear from you. So it's a really great role. It's a lot of fun. If you're creative and like showering others with kindness and appreciation and recognition, this fun role is for you. So with that said, I would love to introduce you to Ann Arnold. She is a fabulous appreciation and recognition team member. She's been with the Red Cross for about 8 months now, helping out in a few different capacities. When she joined, she was thrown right into our celebration of volunteer event. She was so helpful, supportive, and did such a great job. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry. With that said, I would love to introduce you to Ann Arnold. Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. So yes, my name is Ann Arnold, and I am a volunteer with the Red Cross on the Recognition and Appreciation team. One of my jobs, as Lynn mentioned, is to help with the planning of the celebration of volunteers. It's really a great celebration event where all the volunteers from the Red Cross get together, be with old friends and make new friends within the organization, but more importantly for them to be valued and recognized for all their work and their efforts that they do for the Red Cross. I also help with, as Lynn said, the Volunteer Appreciation Week, which is an ongoing week-long event where there's all kinds of activities just to reach out to our volunteers and again, make them know how valued they are and appreciated they are for the work and the time that they commit to serving the Red Cross. And then another job that I've been doing is just to try to keep track of the years of service that the volunteers in the Red Cross have, where they are, again, valued and recognized for their time that they put in. They're awarded with a pin every 5 years for every 5 years of service, which is really a milestone for many of the volunteers. We have volunteers that have been working and volunteering for up to 45, 50 years, which was really surprising to me that there was such dedication for that length of time. But that's been a really rewarding role for me, just to sort of see all the different types of volunteers, the different types of people that give of their time, and to value them as important members for the Red Cross. So I really enjoy my position. I hope you're interested in joining. It's been very, very fulfilling for me so far. So I'll pass it back to Lynn.
Thank you, Ann. That was awesome. So yeah, Ann kind of skimmed over how we threw her into the volunteer recognition event. She jumped in, she sat at our registration table, she helped out with registration in a huge way. She even got to meet one of our MCs of the evening, which is a local news anchor, TV news anchor, and she was so excited about that because her daughter is interested in journalism. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great time. And, you know, that, like I said, it's the culture of the Red Cross to really recognize and appreciate our volunteers. So if you're interested, just let me know and I would be happy to help get you pointed into the direction of being on the team. And I see we have lots of questions in the chat, so we'll get to those at the end of the call. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ned, I believe. So Ned, back to you.
Well, thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Beth and Kay. It's just such an honor to work with such wonderful volunteers and to work with this organization. So we really do appreciate your help throughout this presentation. And the chat box has been remarkable as well. So please keep your questions coming. We appreciate all the participation and we hope we try and answer all those questions. So there are roughly the 6 positions that are available in our volunteer services department. And this is a recurring theme we hope that you recognize. We want to match people's interests and availability to what position they want to do. So if you want to be in our volunteer services department and you'd like to be outward facing and work with the public, you might want to consider being a volunteer recruiter or a community outreach team member. If you'd like to help people on the phone, maybe you'd like to work at a position, maybe like an opportunity where you work from home on the telephone, on a computer, you might want to consider a position as part of our volunteer screener team or our background check team. Or if you'd like to help on the back end, when you help to engage with our volunteers and keep them inspired and keep them encouraged and help to recognize them, you might want to consider a position on either our volunteer engagement team or our recognition and appreciation team. But this is, of course, just within the volunteer services department. And we're kind of the people who support like I said earlier, all of the departments. So if you're looking to get involved in one of our other departments, disaster services, blood services, service of the armed forces, come through us. We're the ones who will help educate you on those positions, teach you all about them, and then connect you to the right people. And they will become your friends and trainers from there. So again, it's been an honor to talk to you today. It's been a wonderful experience working with some of these other volunteers. We're going to answer all the questions in the chat box. Please keep those coming. Those are remarkable. And I'm going to turn it back to Monica, who's going to bring this home for us and also share with us all of our contact information so you know how to get in touch with us. Monica, it's all yours.
Thank you so very much, Ned. Oh my goodness, how amazing was all that information. I absolutely love hearing firsthand from volunteers that share exactly their why and how much they enjoy what they do with us and you know, being a part of the American Red Cross, because once again, you guys are essential and we couldn't do this without you. And they share the experience way better than what we could ever do. So I thank you guys. I hope you guys got some great information. And if you know it resonated with you, let's talk about how to get started in making that process happen for you so you can join our team and our family as well. So there's actually 3 ways that you can get started to become a volunteer with the Red Cross. One of those ways is actually just completing an online volunteer application. That volunteer application can be found at www.redcross.org/volunteer. Once again, that's www.redcross.org/volunteer. And if you forget that address, just head on over to redcross.org, and at the top of the page, there will be a link that says volunteer. That will get you there as well. And complete that online application, and our team will actually contact you and give you further details and information. By all means, if you have difficulty with accessing the application or completing the application, there's a couple other ways that you can actually go about this as well. The second way is to actually download an app. Yes, we have an app for that. So Red Cross Volunteer Connection app, you can find it on your smartphone wherever you find your apps for your particular smartphone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone. And you'll know that you have the correct app, which once again is called Volunteer Connection, because you will see our logo, the cross, the Red Cross, inside of a little caricature that looks like a person with their hand raised. That way you'll know that you're definitely on the right app, and you can download that and you will be able to complete your application right from your phone. How cool is that? So the third process for anyone, especially that does not like, you know, maybe technology or not that great with it, you can always call our Volunteer Intake Processing Center, what we call our VIPC. And you can reach them by dialing 1-844-621-4243. Once again, that's 1-844-621-4243. So we give you a few ways here to actually complete your volunteer application. And if all else fails, we are here for you. So remember, I told you at the beginning of the presentation that I was going to share with you the areas in which each of us cover for Eastern PA. So of course, once again, my name is Monica Wiles and I cover Philadelphia County. So if you're interested in volunteering anywhere in Philadelphia County, you would contact me. Or if you reside in Philadelphia County, you can contact me. Bucks and Montgomery counties, you're going to contact Ned Bloom. Chester and Delaware counties, you're going to contact Lynn Cohen or Ann Borisowski. For Lehigh Valley, you're going to contact Ann Borisowski or Ned Bloom. For Berks County and Schuylkill County, you're going to contact Ann Borisowski. And for Northeast PA and Pocono region, you're going to contact Grace Palmer. So you can go ahead and screenshot this page, take a picture of this page, do whatever you have to do. It includes our emails as well as our contact telephone numbers that you would be able to reach us. And we are more than excited and willing to assist you in the process to answer any questions you may have after this presentation that you may think of, you know, once we've said our goodbyes and you're like, I meant to ask that question. Feel free to reach out to us and we would be more than happy to assist you. Oops, and I did not mean to click on that. All right, there we go. So with all of that being said, questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, we are ready for it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to actually go to our comment or chat box and answer any questions that are there. Or any suggestions, ideas, etc. that are there. And then we're going to allow for time for you guys to raise your hand if you want to ask us a question here live on the presentation. So I believe, and I kind of shared with her that I was going to pull her in at the last minute this morning. I believe our supervisor, Susan Calcal's Bean, is on with us. Susan, are you there? Hi, Susan.
Hey.
Do we have any questions or comments in the chat box?
Yeah, well, I've been kind of answering them as I can. You might want to talk a little bit. There was a question about would you be able to switch to a different volunteer opportunity once you get started? So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So we definitely do not limit anyone from volunteer opportunities. And there's times where you may see something initially and say, oh, I want to do that. And then you begin, you know, the process and you work in it for a minute and you're like, this isn't really for me. I think I want to try something different. That is absolutely okay. The main thing is to keep lines of communication open and to be honest. We want you happy. You're volunteering your time with us. You're taking moments out of your day that you could be spending with family or doing something else and sharing it with us. So by all means, if you find that the position that you initially apply for is not quite a good fit for you, let us know, let your supervisor know, and we would be more than happy to assist you in finding something else that's more ideal for you. But that's one of the ways of having a conversation so we can actually talk you through the opportunity, what it entails, some of the expectations, what your expectations are, etc., so that we can help guide you through that process. In addition to that, you're not limited to just one area or opportunity. You can absolutely do more than one, as long as you're making sure that you're taking time out for yourself as well. Please don't spread yourself too thin, but we welcome anyone that would like to do more than one opportunity that we have available. Great question.
Hi, Monica. And then we had a question. Ned provided an answer in the chat, but if you want to talk about this, there was a question about training for the screener position. You know, what's involved in that.
Ned, you want to share what you shared in the chat box?
It'll be my pleasure. Thank you very much. So the question came up whether there was training involved for the volunteer screener position. And the answer is, of course, yes. All of our positions we have training and support for. You'll always work, regardless of what position, regardless of what department. You'll work with a volunteer manager. You'll work with other volunteers who are already doing that role, the one that interests you, and they will help you get you trained and very comfortable with the position before you start to do it. And they'll always be there for support. You always work part of a team with the Red Cross, no matter what position you're in. So if that's a position you're interested in doing, let me know, let one of the volunteer services people on this call know, and we can put you in touch with those teams. And this information goes nationwide. So again, if you're from another part of the country and you're on this call, a lot of the information we're sharing today works there as well. Email us, we'll find a colleague in your neck of the woods. we'll connect you, and then you can go from there. So again, thank you, everybody. I hope that answers the question, but we can't do it without you, so much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you, Ned. Do we have any more questions in the chat box?
I don't think we have any that we haven't answered.
Okay.
So it might be a good time to open it up.
Okay, awesome. So if you have a question that you didn't have an opportunity to share in the chat box, please, by all means, raise your hand and we would be able to answer those questions for you, or just unmute yourself and ask the question.
Monica, this is Susan again. Someone did ask a question about, will they be sent a recording of this session afterwards?
We will have the recording available, and we'll work out seeing if we can have it accessible to you afterward. Ned, do you want to add to that, or Lynn, or Grace, or Ann?
Yes, we are recording this session. We'll follow this up with everybody who registered for this session. We'll share the recording with you all, and in that, we'll also make sure you have our emails if you have any further questions. I did see a question that came up in the chat box about somebody wanting to know if they completed their application and how they know that. Again, email us. We can search that out for you. We'll find your application online, and we'll make sure that it gets to the right people. This is a people business, so it really is in touch that people are in touch with people, and then we put you back in touch with those right people.
Yes, I want to add to that too. This is Grace Palmer. I actually received 2 emails from 2 individuals that joined that were not in the state of Pennsylvania. I just want to express that anybody is welcome to join and listen. All the positions are pretty much the same across the board, no matter where you are or located. So what you can do is, as Monica stated earlier, you could go to redcross.org //volunteer. And when you complete your application, someone within your area or your local community will then contact you. So don't feel like you don't need to listen in if you're not in the same area. It's perfectly fine. It's the same information, same mission, one Red Cross.
Absolutely awesome. And also, I would like to add to that, when you guys complete your application, be sure to check your spam box in your email inbox, because we typically send out a kind of a thank you for completing your application email. If you don't see that, there's a slight possibility that it could be located in your spam box. So just check there to see if you have any emails from Red Cross. That's where it'll actually come from. So good stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your questions. Yes.
This is Ann. Do you want to maybe just go back to our contact page information, just in case anyone didn't get a chance to copy that down?
Yes. Here we go. Mm-hmm. So once again, if you can, take a screenshot of this, take a picture of this page, and this is all of our contact information, where we're located. So if you have any questions regarding, anything, contact one of us, and we're more than happy to assist you with this. And also, once again, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone. You never know who is within your circle that may be interested in volunteering as well. Volunteering is always fun with more than one person. So when we can find friends and family that want to volunteer with us as well, it's kind of cool. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask one last time, does anyone have any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or comments.
Monica, this is Susan. There was a question about how people would apply to other positions if they're an existing volunteer, but they're interested in applying to one of the positions you described today. What should they do? How should they go about that?
Awesome. So one of the ways in which you can do that is, if you're an existing volunteer, you can actually access Volunteer Connection, and at the top of your main or your home page, you'll see a tab that says Opportunities. You can click on that, and that'll show you a list of opportunities that are available in your area, and you can apply directly from there. It's literally just add opportunity. I think the button says, whatever that little button says at the bottom of the job description, click on that. And that will let us know that you're interested in volunteering in another opportunity. In addition to that, once again, reach out to one of us in volunteer services or your local volunteer services department, and we would be able to assist you as well. Thank you for that question. All right, so with that being stated, we want to thank you. This was great. We appreciate you guys spending lunchtime with us. By all means, please contact us. Don't, be a stranger. Let us know that you're interested, or if you saw the information, you feel like maybe not right now, but later down the line, still contact us. That's totally okay. We want to leave you with a quote from Mr. Rogers. He said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" And we look for the helpers. We are always finding people that are helping and willing to help. And we thank you for your willingness. We hope that this knowledge that we shared with you was very empowering for you to make a decision to join us, to join our team, and to join our Red Cross family. As Ned stated earlier, we are one Red Cross, and our whole goal is to fulfill the mission of the Red Cross and serve our communities. So with that being said, we thank you so very much for your time. We do hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and an amazing weekend. And we are here if you need us. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Be in touch.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.